Hi everyone, and welcome to Story Time with Michele. I'm so happy to see you because today I have a sweet, special story just for you. This one is called Great Aunt Mary, the Secret Tooth Fairy, and this was written by Karen Bolam, and Karen lives in England. She was kind enough to send us this book all the way from England, and she even dedicated the book to my daughters. Right there. To Gia and Bianca, best wishes. Love, Karen. How sweet is that? And I can't wait to share this book with you. I know you'll love this story. Here we go. I always thought my great Aunt Mary was actually a teeny weeny bit scary. You see, she must be 100 years old, with skinny hands all wrinkly and cold. Her short, white, curly hair so thin, and when she smiles, a toothless grin. She has a hunch upon her back and smells a bit like moldy flapjack. Mum says it's important to be kind. She may be old, but isn't blind. But I never really knew what to say when Great Aunt Mary came to stay. That was until only a few weeks ago, when Great Aunt Mary came to stay in our bungalow. She had a secret that had never been told, a secret that I was about to unfold. One night, when I couldn't get to sleep, I heard something strange and had a peek. It was then I discovered that Great Aunt Mary was actually a real-life secret tooth fairy. I was peeking through a crack in her door and just couldn't believe what I saw. She sprinkled fairy dust over her head, waved a wand, and then she said, "Toothy Peg Sparkle, Toothy Peg Magic, help me become a little less tragic. Turn me from old Great Aunt Mary into a beautiful magic tooth fairy." Wow. Then, with a final wave of her wand, her hair turned from white to golden blonde. Her skin warm and smooth, not a wrinkle in sight, her mouth a set of teeth, sparkling white. From out of her hunch fairy wings grew, her beautiful dress a pale blue. I watched her shrink, the fairy dust still gleaming. This can't be real. I must be dreaming. With a flutter of her wings, out of the window she flew. I was left wondering, how could this be true? Great Aunt Mary is not at all scary. She's actually a real-life secret tooth fairy. I decided to spy on her the very next night. I crept in her room and hid out of sight. I waited quietly until she came up to bed, watched her wave her wand, and listened as she said, "Toothy Peg Sparkle, Toothy Peg Magic, help me become a little less tragic. Turn me from old Great Aunt Mary into a beautiful magic tooth fairy." There she's doing it again. At that moment, my nose started to feel tickly. I was going to sneeze. I had to think quickly. But it was too late. There was nothing I could do, as my sneeze escaped with an almighty achoo! "What's going on?" Great Aunt Mary said. "You're supposed to be fast asleep in bed." We sat there staring at each other in surprise as she turned into a tooth fairy right before my eyes. I opened my mouth to scream for my mum, to tell her what Great Aunt Mary had become. With a look of concern, she shook her head in a rush, put a finger to her lips, and told me to shush. "Okay," she sighed, "so my secret is out. I have so much to tell you about. But right now there's lots of work to be done, teeth to collect before the rise of the sun. Go back to bed and try to get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll talk of this secret you must keep." After a very long and restless night, I was up and dressed at first sight. Then finally, alone with Great Aunt Mary, she told me the tale of becoming a tooth fairy. When I was a girl about the same age as you, eating sweets was all I wanted to do. I'd eat chocolate and candy floss up really quick, sherbet and lollipops until I felt sick. I was a spoiled brat with a terrible diet, getting all I asked for just to keep me quiet. If I didn't get sweets, I would scream and shout until my teeth all went rotten and then fell out. After that, I had such a miserable life, became a lonely old woman and never a wife. I longed to have teeth to help me feel pretty. Instead, people looked at me with horror and pity. Then one day, while I was out walking in the wood, I found a dusty old lamp and gave it a rub. The lamp started to shake and started to smoke, and out popped a genie wearing a cloak. "Oh, thank goodness for that," said the genie. "I've been in there for years, and it's ever so teeny. Think carefully now, for 3 wishes I grant. Here's your chance to be more than just an old ant." 3 wishes, I said, with such delight. First, I wish for teeth sparkling and white. Next, I wish I was young and ever so pretty, so people don't look at me with horror and pity. For my final wish, I'd like to add some magic to help me become a little less tragic. "Okay," said the genie, "for your wishes to come true, there are some things I must ask you to do. Children must learn about brushing their teeth, about brushing on top and brushing beneath. To do this, you'll need to be a little less scary. So I'll turn you into a beautiful magic tooth fairy." Ta-da! There she is as the tooth fairy. Then he explained what had to be done. I must collect children's teeth before the rise of the sun, replace with a coin as a little reward. Then the importance of brushing is never ignored. He gave me a wand and a fairy dust jar, taught me a riddle, and then said, "Ta-ra!" I was left there standing alone in the wood, finally free of my rotten childhood. Since then, my life has been such a delight. I may be scary by day, but beautiful by night, because I'm not just an old great Aunt Mary, but actually a real-life secret tooth fairy. The end. Wasn't that a fun poem? I love this story. Thank you, Karen, so much for sharing your story with us and with all of our viewers. And I'm going to have a link for this book down in the description below. So if you'd like to buy a copy, please head on over to that link down in the description. And if you enjoyed the story, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, don't forget to brush those teeth and floss. Bye!